For 33 minutes, I couldn't get it together. I don't know how much messages you guys missed, but this is a really, really important message. And I am just so sorry that the universe didn't want that message to get out. There was a very rude phone call interruption. And from then on, it was buffering. So this is part 2. I will reiterate the reading in case a lot of you guys missed it. This is a very, very, very important message. If you're here watching this, it's for you. And don't miss a thing. Rewind, watch as much of the first one as you can. Hopefully it will fix itself and we'll get in. But we're going to start with whatever this is going on with the eclipse has a major effect on your life. This is a number 9 year. This is a year of endings. 2025 is going to dissolve karmic partnerships and dissolve your karma if you've learned your lesson, if you've grown as a person. And if you haven't, this is a year that is coming out of a 10-year cycle. So you have to look back 9 years. This is when you started going down this path. Okay, that's when it started, and it's about to end at the end of this year. So this is the end of that cycle, guys. And are you ready to put the past in the past? Trust in divine timing. I know whatever you're going through, it took longer than you wanted. Spirit wants you to still believe in fairy tales, still have your heart's desire, King of Wands, create the life you want. You just have to work with Spirit on this. There's someone in karmic. What goes around comes around. People are getting their karma. People are either getting good karma returned to them or negative. What you put into the universe, you get back out. You need to be ready to surrender. Surrender your money, surrender your time. Surrender and give up and forgive. Have mercy, grace, understanding. Okay? Surrender all kinds of things. Surrender bad thoughts about yourself. Surrender people that are just not meant to stay in your life. How many of us have friends and family and lovers that we try so hard to drag into our lives because we say to ourselves, they're connected to us from our childhood, our family, our upbringing, or our children, or our past. We really want to drag them into the future. And a lot of the times the universe is like, no, they don't belong there. You have a history, but you don't have a future. And that really represents the karmic relationship. And let's look back fondly on those memories of love and the good memories, but they cannot be in your life the way you want them to be in your life. And that's the surrender. So a lot of you guys, that's an intimate marriage or relationship. For others, this is your immediate family, your siblings, even your kids or your parents or your best friends. Okay, so that message came out. To support all of that, we had King of Pentacles in the reverse, which is money doesn't buy happiness. You got to let it go. Somebody's going to be having to let go of a financial stubbornness, perhaps, or maybe money in some way. Then we have believe in divine timing, 9 of Swords. We all get a bit carried away with our worries sometimes. Remember, a worry is a prayer. It's just a prayer in the opposite direction. When you worry to death, you are just telling Spirit, you have no faith. I have no faith in you that this is going to be okay. And that's where you're going to need Hierophant energy. You're going to need to consult a counselor, a healer, a pastor, somebody with higher knowledge, higher wisdom that's connected to get you back on track, to get back to being aligned, because your mind is playing tricks on you, and your mind is lying to you, and your mind is creating illusions and nightmares that are not even real. You might be worrying right now about some outcome that's never going to happen, but you're worried to death that it will. Remember, you don't want to pray that into existence. Give the Creator a little glory in the fact that you were created for a reason and you have purpose. There's something actually out there for you, and you're actually here for some reason. You're not just sitting here, okay? So remember that. Then you guys got King of Wands supporting the fairy tales do exist. Self-explanatory. Shine your inner candlelight bright enough to have others follow you. And I want you to say this too. Cheer other people along. You know, a leader isn't like, do exactly as I do, walk how I walk, talk how I talk. That's not a leader. A leader isn't bragging about success and saying, look at me, look at me, look at everything I've done. Do what I did. No, a leader is saying, what do you feel inside of yourself? Now go after it. Go after it. Let nothing stop you. I believe in you. I support you. I'm a cheerleader. A leader is a cheerleader. They light the path. They light a fire inside of you. Their fire is contagious, and that's the King of Wands. Very attractive, very contagious, very in control. And by in control, I mean in control of his thoughts, in control of his intentions. He's very aware of the direction he's going. Very assertive, very certain, very confident. So you need to be very confident in what it is you believe. Supporting the karma is at work. You got the Knight of Swords in reverse. So there's an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Check your Vedic sidereal zodiacs, because that's what I work with. But there is an air sign that is getting their karma. They're getting the message. They are getting disappointment. They're realizing everything's not going to go my way. I'm not going to get away with that lie. Or I'm not going to get away with that deed that I did to someone. I'm not going to get away with it. I can't just move on from the past. I actually have to account for it. Hi, Sabrina. And I know this because that's the eclipse. The eclipse is revealing secrets, hidden things, shadows, revealing the shadow side to people, to their own selves. Others are seeing people's shadows as well. And what is the shadow side? The dark parts of yourself, the parts you don't want anyone to see, the ones you bury in the closet. That's your anger. That's your humiliation, your fear, your grief, your brokenness, your vulnerabilities, your pain. But more than anything, that is your secrets. We like to hide things in the shadows that no one needs to see. Things we don't want them to see. Or they wouldn't want us anymore. That conversation that you had with someone on the phone, that if someone found out, they would leave you. That's in the shadow. That thing you do alone in the dark and no one knows about, that's in the shadow. Those thoughts you have about people that are so awful that if you ever said them out loud, Yeah, you don't want to know what would happen, right? That's in the shadow. But also just bad deeds, bad things that you've done that you've learned from and you've grown from, but you don't want to bring it up. You don't want to deal with it. It's still there. And remember, we're in a 10-year cycle. We're in the number 9 years. So this is the end. The 9 represents the endings, numerologically and spiritually. So there's deeds that you've done in the last 9 years. Those deeds, those are really what is your that's what you're going to be dealing with right now. So I'm not necessarily saying this eclipse is bringing up old deeds, old things from 100 years ago, okay? 20 years ago, 40 years ago, nothing like that. But it is bringing up what you've been up to for the last 9 years. Because if you'll notice, every decade, you're going to answer to your cycles. You're going to answer to your karmas. So what have you been up to in the last 9 years? That puts us where? 2015. What kind of person have you been since 2015? These are the karmas you're going to answer for. And no one's going to escape it. The eclipse will not let any one of you. You may have been a saint for the last 3 years, but you might have done something really wrong 5 years ago, 4 years ago. It's coming. That 10 of Swords is going to be your best friend. It's your best friend because it's painful to look at your shadow. It's painful to look at the betrayal, perhaps, the embarrassment. Maybe you just had no boundaries. Maybe you've been a doormat. Maybe you've been a thief. Maybe you've been sneaky. Maybe you've been spending money like water. Maybe you've lied about people. Maybe you've been too selfish. Maybe it's been 50-50. Maybe you've had some bad times and some good times. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Do you see? It's like the universe is like, I don't really want to get into the details, but it's coming. Karma's coming, karma's here, it's at work. So if you've been experiencing an immense amount of pressure, like a buildup where it feels almost like a tower, that's because we're right here. We are September. We've got September, October, November, December left for this year. Got 4 months. So you are at the precipice of the endings of payment for these karmas. And a lot of you guys are going to be given some good blessings. And you're going to be given some bad feedback from the universe as well, like some losses. That goes to tell you basically how you scored as a soul on this lesson. Hopefully you guys are 10 of swordsing this and moving on to better things. Temperance, right? Thank God. Balance. Like that's the judge. But some of you guys, and hopefully it's not you, maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's just someone very important to you. I don't know. But you probably know of a few people, Knight of Swords, that are going to be getting their results back. And it's going to show loss. You lose it all. You lose everything. You lose your relationship. You lose the relationship with your kids. You lose money. You lose health. You lose a lot. You know, when you gamble big, you might lose big. You know, and I know a few people, they're losing big, you know, and it's like you did this. You created this. Some people didn't want to listen to their twin flame. Didn't want to. Stubborn, stubborn, stubborn. Probably an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. But they were just not heeding the warnings, they're going to run into some trouble. They're going to get that message. For others of you, you've been wronged, and this is a glory moment for you. If you're watching this and the Holy Spirit is with us, using me as a vessel to deliver this message to you, if you have been wronged by someone and you didn't deserve it, you have been good to that person, you've been patient, you've been loving, you've been giving, you haven't rubbed anything in their face, you haven't brought up the bad they've done to you in the past, didn't bring it up, you were very, very giving, hoping that Five of Cups would turn around and you guys could make amends, make up, take it to a healing place, but they just were cruel and left you in a state of anxiety. Spirit wants you to know, if you've been giving a lot and you have not been receiving reciprocity, it's coming, okay? It's coming. That's coming to an end. And you might have to close the door on that person, but it's coming to an end. All right. 3 under that is somebody's about to come into union. You guys are going to make up. You're going to make amends. This could be with your twin flame, a divine partner, family member, whoever this is. Spirit says we are awaiting for a mending, awaiting for a union. You guys might be feeling like there's too much to think about right now. Very 9 of Swords, a lot of headaches, a lot of stress, a lot of problems. Spirit says, yes, this is happening because whoever has been caught up in a web of lies, and this is one lie after another, you know, whether it's intentional or not, they always get caught up. Like, you can't run away from your lies for forever. You will have to atone for them. You're going to have to answer them. Now, what I was saying in my last video before I got cut off was we have someone trying to come back, 5 of Cups in reverse. Don't cry over spilled milk. The worst is over. It looks like we can definitely admit there's been pain and suffering and drama, and we can't get that back. We're never going to be the same again. It's never going to be the same in this relationship, but there's still 2 cups, and it means there's something left to salvage. There's still something we can save here. And then we have the Fix-It angel, the angel of temperance and guidance, Archangel Raphael, here to say, I'm going to balance things out. You know, I'm here to restore, replenish. If you have faith in the divine, I'm here. Let go of your self-imposed limitations. There are only can'ts in your own mind. There's only walls in your own mind. Let's clear that and believe where there's a will, there's a way, and where there's destiny, nothing's going to stop it. What goes around is coming around. The temperance angel is a little bit of a judge. So it's happening. Pure hearts with pure intentions get pure results. People with darkness and shadows, they have results. Now I spoke about the 10 of Swords, which really comes out to this number 9 year, this eclipse. It's very much like a tower, but it's not. It's just a very painful ending. And it can be seen as a painful truth too. Someone isn't who you thought they were. The situation isn't what you thought it would be. You put all your energy into it and it turned out to hurt you in the long run. And this card talks about betrayal, backstabbing. You know, someone that you love so much betrayed you. They lied about you, or maybe they told the truth, but that was between the 2 of you. And now they've exposed you to your worst enemy. And that hurts. There's also this, I tried to move on from the past. I'm not who I was. But it came back to bite me. I couldn't run from it for very long. And it feels like a curse. You know, for a lot of you guys, it's just my partner that I loved so much that I gave everything to. He gave it away to somebody else, or she gave it away to somebody else. I was lied to. I was used. I was abused. And some of you guys might feel very used. Some of you guys might not feel seen. The people you love don't know you. They don't know who you really are. And you're hurting and you're just like, I can't let you in. You know? And so all of this can mean different things for you guys, but it doesn't change the fact that all of you are feeling the pain of this ending. And this is, you know, it's never going to be the same again. And this is, I know it has to end. This is also your best friend because it means it's your saving grace. Whatever you've been enduring, this long suffering, it's finally over. Finally, you can put it to bed. You can put it to rest. You can lay down the pain. And this is where we get to start healing. You guys ever heard that little Christian song, This is Where the Healing Begins? I dare you to listen to it. It's a good song. Even if you're not religious or you're not Christian or anything like that, it's a very good song. And it really states about kick down the walls of shame, pride, anger, resentment, all of those walls, fear, abandonment, rejection, all of them. Tear down the walls. And really what it's referencing is looking at the shadow. But it's Christian. But it's looking at your shadow. This is where the healing begins. When you get real and raw. Like you pick off the scab. Because it was infected. Or perhaps you just take off the Band-Aid is a better way to look at it. But this is where the healing begins. We have to treat the problem. And in order to treat the problem, you have to actually admit there's a problem. So this is very much a revelation card. I know a few people that recently told me that they've been exposed. And that's Ten of Swords too, exposure. But they didn't want to come fully correct. They didn't want to admit everything. They're like, oh, I got busted. I'll give you an example. Somebody that I know wanted to put on a mask and say, hey, I'm an honest and truthful guy. I've got nothing to hide. I love you. Yeah, you can look at my phone. He thought he erased history of previous text messages, secret apps, pictures. You know, he thought he cleared his phone of any wrongdoing. But there was something in there. And it wasn't even that bad. It was just something. And the other person was like, wow, so you said you didn't do this, but this picture shows otherwise. You lied. And the person owned up to that lie and was like, okay, you're right. You're right. I lied. I did do that. But, and then he told a lie to cover up how bad it really was. So he's like, yeah, that happened, but it's not as bad as you think it is. It actually happened this way, which makes it not as bad. You know, this person tried to cover up their tracks by telling a lie on top of a lie while admitting partial truth. And in his desperation, it was, I'm desperate. I have to save this relationship. I have to save it. And in order to save it, I have to lie. Otherwise, that person is gone. They will leave me. Now, my advice to this person is, well, first I'll let you hear the rest of it. So once he told the lie to cover that up and kind of soften the blow. The person obviously has an intuition and didn't believe him. And the person said, you know what? It's not the fact that you did it. It's the fact that you lied when I asked you. You had the opportunity to tell me the truth, but you didn't. And you said things were going to change. And you said you were different. And you said you wanted to try harder and you wanted a second chance, but you continue to lie. So I think we can all as a collective say, obviously this person is a habitual liar. This person has to continue lying. I mean, he's so used to it. Sometimes it just comes right out like water. Just lies. Always trying to sugarcoat and soften something to protect himself from abandonment and rejection. Now, this is his shadow. This is my advice to him. He's like, I don't know why I lied. I had an opportunity to tell the truth, but I didn't, and I lied. And then I tried to tell the truth, and I'm trying to save it, but I have to lie to save it. But yet she wants the truth. What do I do? And I said flat out, it's one of two things with this eclipse. And it actually happened on the eclipse during this reading that I'm giving you advice on. The busting, the lie actually happened on the eclipse that morning. I said, listen, you're either A, going to confess everything you've ever done in the last 9 years to this person. Like in his case, it was 7 years. So he would have had to confess the whole relationship was built on lies. That would save him from his karma, because his karma is bad health for his pets, for him. It's bad relationships with his family. And it is constant stress and up and down with his karmic relationship. So the lies that he's built on this relationship need to come out, or that relationship's going to keep circling back to a breakup, a fight, and an ending. So he was going to always experience that unless he gets clear. So I said, listen, my advice to you on the clearing is come clean. Come clean. Say how it started and how it ended, like what you've been up to, your relationship with the other person that you're cheating on your person with, in a sense. The one you're keeping secrets about, I think you need to get real with it. Have you had sexual connections with that person? Yes. Have you been in connection with that person for a lot of number of years in secret? Yes. Have you seen that person lately or often? Yes. Does that person know what's going on in your connection? Yes. Was that person telling the truth back in 2019 or 2016 or whatever it was? Yes. Was that person wrongly accused? Yes. Did you lie about that person even before you met the other relationship? Yes. You know, I'm giving him this advice and I'm just like, you have for the last 9 years distributed a bunch of lies and you've never made amends. So this is the past is in the past. And that's his motto. What does it matter? Amends. I already did it. It's over. The next year happened. I'm not going to relive that. Yes, I lied. Yes, I faked it. But I'm not going to relive it. And he thought he could get away. But see, this is what the eclipse is doing. The eclipse will not let you get away with it. That's why this card is here. That's why the Ten of Swords is here. The endings are here. The surrender, it's all here. No one's going to get away with it. Anyways, my advice to him was get clean. He said he couldn't. If he got clean, and you guys can give him some advice here in the chat. He may be watching or maybe not. Hi from Greece. I'm so glad you came in. Welcome. Happy birthday, Ellen. Yeah, be sure to give him some advice in here, guys. He's in a relationship that he's been cheating on that person with someone else for a long time. Yeah, give him some advice because he wants to save it, but I don't think he can. So he said that if I come clean, I'll lose her. She'll be gone forever. She's not going to come back. And I said, you keep catastrophizing yourself. You keep saying that, but over the years, she's found out a numerous amount of infidelity and lies, and she's still here. Karmic, yes, but she's still here. And here she is trying to make it work still, arguing with you still. As long as a woman is still arguing, she's still fighting for the relationship. When she gives up arguing and is like, okay, whatever, F off, don't call me, there's nothing left to fight for. So clearly she's still in it, but he's a little bit in his head, 9 of Swords. So he's like, I can't admit all of that to her. Like, no way. And he's like, I would have to stop talking to my kid's mother. I would have to stop everything. And I said, so in order to save your relationship, you would have to sacrifice your child to be with her because she can't, it will never be okay being around that child's mother or around that child at this time. So you're just going to have to stop and cease all communication with your ex and your child so you could save your relationship, because that's what's the most important thing. See, Temperance isn't going to let that go. Temperance is like, you are not going to get everything you want at the sacrifice of an innocent life, at the sacrifice of someone that you're karmically tied to as well, at other old broken promises, at old deeds. Like you cannot have that. It's not allowed. So it will never work. And I warned him. I said to him, if you're going to sacrifice your past for your future, and this involves your child, you won't win. And even if you do save the relationship today, it's going to end tomorrow. Maybe not exactly in 24 hours, but it's going to end down the road. And you're going to have lost your child and your relationship. Then he comes up with, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you have to give one up and you have to do the right thing. What is worth saving? Apparently, his child is not worth saving. He doesn't really have a relationship with his child and doesn't really have a desire to see his child. But he has a desire to have that relationship, and it's very sick and it's very twisted, but that's where he's at. And he will continue to suffer, and he even said he was at the point of suicide because of the loss of that relationship. That's how obsessed he is. Now, we all can see that that's toxic and it's karmic, and he's got to make better choices. But you see, in his mind, none of that makes sense. In his mind of insanity and desperation, that's the only thing that makes sense. So my advice to him, and a very honest advice, was if you don't want to confess all of your infidelity to her, because it's been going on since you met her, but you want her, you care about her. Number one, if you love her, why are you cheating? Why? If you love her, you would have no desire to get your rocks off somewhere else. You also wouldn't have a desire to have companionship or friendship with somebody else if it was already existing in the relationship you have. If you already have a deep, open, loving connection where you can be yourself with her, you wouldn't be seeking somebody else. Cheating comes in many forms more than just sexual. It can come in friendship. It can come in companionship and intimacy. Cheating starts with opening up and being yourself with another person because you can't with them. So that's where he was sitting at. And I'm like, okay, well, if you want to save it with her, if you love her so much, even though I don't think you do, I don't think you do. Then I would start with this. This is a collective. I would start with this and say, and this is what I told him, have a sit down with her, say you want to get honest, you want to come clean, you want to keep the relationship, you've been messing up for a long time and you don't want to be that person anymore, you want to change, but you want to change the right way and you want to be a better man. I said, she'll sit down, she'll have the conversation. I know she will. Tell her she can ask you any questions she wants to ask. That way you don't have to expose everything, because you can't start to finish for 7 years and expose everything, because that would take ancient. It would be ancient by the time you got done explaining everything. But let her ask her own questions. That way she clears her mind and she's not Nine of Swordsing this anymore, where she has questions that need answering and she needs answers to move on with you. And I said, you owe her the decency to be honest. You owe her a chance at a life with someone she can trust, because that's what she wants. She wants to be with a man that she can trust. She wants to be with a man that is faithful and honest. She's asking you for honesty. She's asking you for loyalty. She's asking you for transparency. She wants to know who you are so she can make a healthy decision and decide, are you the man she wants? He already knows he's not the man she wants. He already knows he's let her down. He already knows she deserves better. But he's too selfish to give her that. He'd rather lie and keep it together and hope, well, we'll fall in love deeper and deeper as we go. She's already wanting to go. She's already split up with him. She's already moved out. She's already had the breakup and they're trying to make it work and it's not working. And instead of giving her the decency to let her go, and stop tethering himself to her by means of, I want to see your dog, I want to shampoo the carpet, I want to check on the house, I want to be your friend, let's go out. And like, he's trying to cling on to her and not let go. She's already trying to push him away and let go, but he keeps coming back. That's selfishness. He's literally a cancer and a disease to her. He's not letting her go. And he won't give her the truth. So I said, listen, if you really do care and you want to change, and you actually think that it could work with this person, let her ask you everything that she needs to ask. How long were you with this person? Was she telling the truth in 2019? Do you still have feelings for her? Why did you continue talking to her? Were you intimate with her? Did you have sex? Did you kiss her? Did you fool around? He cannot lie. If he wants it to get better, I said you have to be honest with her and you have to be honest with yourself. If the answer is, I don't know if I still have feelings for her, I don't know why I keep going to her, then let that be the answer. If it's, I thought I didn't have feelings for her, but when I'm around her, I do feel at home. I feel good. I feel like I want to connect with her. Are you still attracted to her? Don't lie and say, no, I don't know why I'm doing it. Admit it. Yeah, I do have attraction. Was it over with you and her in the past? The truth is, I thought it was. I thought it was. Did it linger? Did you keep seeing her? Yeah, I did. At least that woman could make sense and not hate the other woman and not blame the other woman, but see how they're both in a triangle caught up in this emotional storm, this karmic storm. So I'm telling him to be honest. Okay, this is my advice to him in the eclipse. Answer these questions honestly, because you're not just telling her the answers, you're telling your shadow side and you're telling the universe. And if she says, how many times have you seen her in the last year? Be honest. 50 times, 100 times? I don't know. Do you guys talk on a secret app or text? Are you communicating with her secretly? Yes. Why? So I wouldn't find out? Yep. Is that why you blocked her? So I would think that you're not talking to her, but you are? Yep. Do you want to see your child? Yes or no? You know, these are the things he has to be honest with her to change his karma, to change his fate for the eclipse. So I'm telling him, get real with her. She has to make a decision on who you are and if she really loves you. He thinks she won't love him. That's his own Nine of Swords. I said this to him in advice for the eclipse. If she really loves you, you could tell her anything and she'll still be there. You could tell her you're gay or you have gay tendencies and she'd still be there if you said you wanted to fix it. You could tell her you've had an affair for many years and you don't know why and you want to get some psychological help and counseling and you love her and you don't want to let her go and she'd still be there. You know, people that love someone, it doesn't matter what darkness you confess, they'll be there. So I told him that. I'm like, if she really loves you and you tell her your shadows, your evils, as ugly as it sounds when you answer her questions, A, she's going to respect you for telling her the truth. And B, she's going to make educated decisions. And C, she can relate with your son and your ex and you and your friends the way that she needs to, because she knows your tendencies, she knows your weaknesses, she knows what you want and what you did. Maybe she can have a little grace and mercy for the other person, a little understanding. Maybe then she can be the confidant and the friend and the lover because she sees all of it. And then maybe he can be transparent and real and open and raw and have a real deep relationship with her. And they'll rebond and build on a new foundation and restructure themselves on honesty. That's love. You see, that's real. That's the foundation I think he's looking for. But you see, he's looking for it, hoping that the web of lies is going to do it. That he can keep all the other stuff hidden and still have that, and he can't. And that's what he can't let go of. That's what he can't surrender. The truth. He can't surrender the truth because he's going to lose it all. Chances are he is going to lose it all. And it doesn't matter if he tells the truth or not. Karma is coming for him right now, 2025. Over the next 4 months, karma is coming for him, and he's coming for you, and he's coming for all of us. And this is the chance with Temperance to repair the damage. 5 of Cups in the reverse. You have a chance to come clean. Reveal the ugly. I'm a failure. I wasn't responsible financially. I lied about this. I tried to cover things up. I tried to move money. I tried to move it and hide it and spend it and not let everyone know because I thought I was doing the best for everyone. Spirit says it doesn't matter why. It's that you did it. Face the shadow. Yes, intentions count for something, but face it and then we can get past it. And whoever's meant to be there, once you've confessed, once you've seen the shadow and you revealed yourself, and now you're the phoenix. You've risen from your dirty ashes, and the past is really in the past, and you faced it, burned it, let it go. You can go on to the next version of yourself. And that's what this eclipse is trying to do. Now, in this person's case that I did a reading for, he's got one chance for the next 4 months to come 100% clean or lose it all, or lie and lose it all. But maybe there's a miracle. Maybe a fairy tale exists. Maybe Spirit Creator has a divine plan. And if you become honest and real, you may get a fairy tale. You may get a surprise of a lifetime. For him, he may get a better relationship with his child, a better relationship with his ex, a better relationship with his current relationship, a better relationship with money. His whole life could change for the better, but he can't lie on top of a lie, and he can't tell half-truths. That's not confession. That's not shadow work. You can't say, oh, yes, I did do this, but it's because of this happened, this little lie. That's not the truth. You might as well have just told a flat out lie, because you cannot tell half-truths and then half-lies. You can't say, fine, 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 fine. I'll admit this, but I'm not going to admit that. You know, we got to get the skeletons out of the closet. That's the work. And this 10 of Swords, I gave an example, and I don't know if any of you heard it. Everyone was saying they couldn't. I don't know. But I gave the example of Jesus dying on the cross. Walk by faith, not by sight. And follow his footsteps, you know. And as a metaphor of what Jesus endured was betrayal, humiliation, loss, abandonment, rejection. I don't know if there's more. If there's more, remind me. Loneliness. A lot of despair, a lack of faith. So many things came up. He was literally crying and bleeding from his eyes, like he was crying blood. And Jesus was in the garden asking God, why would you forsake me of all people? I'm your son. I came here. I've been good. I've done everything good. I'm so good. Why are you doing this to me? Why do I have to carry this burden? Like, why do I need to carry this cup? Is there any other way? Can you do me a favor because I'm your son? Can you make an exception? Does it have to be this harsh? Does it have to be, come on, you could tweak something. But then he accepted the truth. This is the way it has to be. The debt must be paid. This is the debt. And that's why he cried blood and tears. And he had to accept betrayal from his best friends. Rejection. They literally went and hid and denied him. They didn't even want to act like they knew him because they were scared that it was going to happen to them. They weren't even strong enough to pray all night in the garden with him. They went to sleep. And that's when he said, the spirit is willing always, but the flesh is weak. Meaning, I know in your heart you want to do the right thing. But when it comes down to the reality, it's almost impossible for you to do the right thing. It's so hard. It requires so much from you. It's hard to battle the flesh. That's the worst part. And to be rejected by his people, his own flesh and blood, his town, his community, his cousins, his siblings, his family, to be rejected by all of them. You know, one week he's walking in and they're laying palms down on the ground. Bless him, he's our savior, he's our king. Kissing his feet, washing him with oils, just loving him to death. And then the next following, they're crucifying him. That's rejection, abandonment. You know, even his own best friends sold him for 30 pieces of silver. Not very much. So a lot of you guys are walking the path. I am not saying you are like Christ, okay? But I'm saying you've felt these things. The man or woman you've loved may have sold you out for someone who gave them nothing. You were giving them everything, and the person they left you for gave them this much. It's hurtful, disrespectful. For a lot of you guys, you've sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears for someone, and then how did they do you in the end? They did you dirty. They didn't appreciate you. They didn't give you a thank you. In fact, they turned it around on you and gaslit you and said you were the worst party when you didn't. And Jesus experienced the same thing. Lies and deception about who he was and what he stood for. People lied about him. So imagine the humility, the embarrassment he must have felt, the pain, just the pure suffering, the loneliness, everything. And then he had to walk through a crowd of everyone that he knew. One minute he's the most popular guy in the room, and the next minute they are spitting on him, throwing dirt on him, accusing him of terrible things, accusing him of the worst. And he was innocent. He was absolutely innocent. That's why this card represents the end. This card, all these swords are like the signs of the cross, everything that he went through. But in your life, it's your own personal crucifixion. This is the walk of shame for you. This is the pain, the suffering, how he or she did you dirty. They did you wrong. They stole. They did all kinds of things from you. Whoever this is. They led you on. They used you, perhaps. They betrayed you. They chose someone else. Whatever it is. Now you're on the cross, just like Jesus was, looking down. This is 9 years. You are at the end. That's the Ten of Swords, is the end. Finally, very soon, Spirit gives his soul to the Creator, and Jesus gives his soul to the Creator and says, "It is finished. Your will is done. It is finished." And he breathed out his last breath. The exhaustion, the surrender is what that is. And he gave his spirit to Christ, and he died. That was it. And that's what this Ten of Swords represents. It is the very painful, very, very painful ending to a very long cycle that you've been in. And if you're watching this, chances are you've been betrayed. You've been backstabbed. You feel like your life is cursed. You've had nothing but a string of bad luck. The people you've loved have not loved you the way you've loved them. You feel like you've been given the short end of the stick in this life. You feel like it's not fair. You've cried, you've bled, you've pled out to God. Where's my help? Where's my help? Where's the helper? Where is it? Temperance is here, which is like the Holy Spirit. And Temperance is here saying, it is finished, but I'm here to give balance. And when Jesus died, he said, I will leave you. I'm going to go. You're not going to have Jesus walking this earth anymore, but you're going to have the helper. The helper comes, and he's greater than me. Greater than you? Greater than me. That's what he meant. Yeah, you're damn right he's greater than me. Why? Because he can go anywhere and anyone at any time. He's fire. He is the fire in your soul, the fire in your heart. He is the fire, and he's with you and in you, and he can go outside of you. You can give him to others. You can accept him. You can share him. You can call on him. He is greater, and he's going to be with you as soon as I leave. He's going to be with you. So we were very blessed. And metaphorically, that helper, temperance, is your angels, your guides, spirit. As you close this chapter of your life, you're not alone. That's the point. It is finished. And this may feel like the biggest stab in your heart to end this karmic relationship. It may feel like life is over, like the person I just mentioned feels like he wants to die if that relationship ends. For a lot of you guys, Ten of Swords, you feel like, that's it, I can't even live, it's over. But for some of you guys, if you ask for the helper, if you believe in divine timing, if you believe fairy tales exist, your helper will come. You will have peace, and you get to renew your life. Like the phoenix, Eclipse says it will start again. Surrender the old, surrender what was, and walk a new path. Now, in the reading previously, Five of Swords in the reverse is you have a choice. Not everyone's going to agree, okay? Sometimes you have to agree to disagree to save a relationship, and sometimes there's just no saving it. There's no way you could ever come to peace, and you have to go your separate ways. But remember this, you can't be right all the time, because that's gaslighting. Somebody else has a different experience than you. You have your experience, they have their experience, and somebody else. You're all right. You know, there's something FBI specialists do, and the CIA or whatever. I think it's the CIA probably. But they take interviews from people that experience a traumatic event, like say a bank robbery was an example. And they interview witnesses for the bank robbery. And they say they interview all 3 cashiers, bankers. Each cashier will have a different description of the assailant by the details. What they're wearing. Somebody will say it was a cardigan. Somebody will say it was a sweater or a t-shirt. Somebody might have seen it was like a yellow color. Somebody would say it was orange. Somebody would say they've got brown eyes. Somebody would say they have green eyes. The CIA was like they all saw and witnessed the same crime, but they are reporting to us different information. This person says it came from the right. This person says they came from the left. This person got a closer view of the eye than the other person, so they assumed it was brown, but it was green. This person thought it was yellow, but it was orange, but really it was a blending of those colors, and that was their interpretation. This person said they came from the right. This person said they came from the left. That's because they were at different positions behind the desk. This person said they were very loud when they came in. This person said they were silent. He was sitting in a different place when he noticed him coming in versus this person sitting way over here when he first came upon this person. So the moral of that is they're all telling the truth, but they all have a different version. They have a different perspective, and they're experiencing it differently. You might go to dinner with someone and you hated it. It was a disgusting dinner. And the other person thought it was the best dinner of their life. You might have been experiencing very good food growing up. You had a chef for a father, and the other person grew up on very bland, uncooked, very unflavorful food. So to them, this was an amazing meal. It is all about perspective. So when you go into an agreement in a relationship, you have to remember whether it's a business, family, or lovers, they are going to experience the same relationship in a different way. Just like when you have children, say you have 3 or 4 or more, all those children are going to look at the parents and experience those parents differently. They've seen different sides of their parents. It is what it is. No one is wrong, and you cannot be right all the time. If you love each other and the relationship is more important than being right, you can save it.